In our last few videos, we've gone into great detail about the country of the Netherlands. We've talked about how the country itself is fantastic and what it has going for it. As well, we've done a few different videos looking at the military and more specifically the special forces of the country. But as we look further into the Netherlands, we find that they are a very unique people, but do have traditional values similar to other countries around the world, such as defense. And with that in mind, today here on FTD Facts, we are going to dive a little bit deeper into the country of the Netherlands and look specifically at one particular unit within its military. And that is us looking at the brave soldiers that make up the Marine Corps of the Netherlands. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to FTD Facts. My name is Dave Walpole, and welcome to the channel where we talk about different cultures, peoples, and places from all around the world. And yeah, we're beginning to look a little bit at militaries from certain countries as well. Now, if this is your first time here and you guys like this sort of stuff, you like learning about different places around the world, not just the militaries, but also the cultures as well, you want to hit that subscribe button because, man, sometimes it just feels really great to just really educate yourself and, you can impress your friends with all the knowledge that you have. As well, here on the channel, we take a lot of recommendations from you guys, so if you guys have a suggestion for a future FTD Facts video, be sure to let us know down there in the comments below. Now, one of the reasons we are doing this video is because, like I said at the beginning of it all, we've done so many topics on the Netherlands. Now, if you guys are interested in the country or anything else, such as the special forces, which we just recently talked about, I'm going to put some cards in throughout the video that are going to appear up here. Also, we got some links down there in the description box below, and of course, we got some stuff at the end of the credits as well. And also, before we get into this video, I want to let you guys know that this video right here is sponsored by the OneFootball app. If you guys are big soccer or football fans, this is the app that you want, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about that at the end. So let's get talking about the Marines of the Netherlands, which are actually more well known as the Korps Mariners. And actually, just to let you guys know, throughout this video, at some point, I may accidentally call them the Korps Mariners. It's just my accent. And since their introduction, they have been a specialized force within the Dutch military, and as of today, they are capable of getting anywhere in the world within 48 hours. So one question that I have is, how long have these guys been around for? Well, to answer that, I got to go into some of the history, because for the Marines of the Netherlands, the Dutch Marines, they got a really cool history and got some really cool records that no other country has. Well, firstly, the Korps Mariners are one of the oldest units in the entire Dutch forces. Now, they were established on December 10th, 1665, after they were approved by the Prime Minister Johan de Witt and Admiral Michael de Ruyter. Now, this was during the war between the Dutch and the English, known as the Second Anglo-Dutch War, with the original name of the Korps Mariner being the Regiment de Marine. And for the Regiment de Marines, one of their first major strikes was during the raids of Medway in England, where they had about 1,500 troops at the time. Now, although it's not actually official, there's a lot of people that have speculated saying that this particular regiment, the Regiment de Marines, were the first unit in the world to have ever specialized in amphibious combat. However, one thing that is officially known is that the Dutch Marines as a whole are the 5th oldest Marine force in all of Europe, as Spain, Portugal, France, and England came first. But it should be noted that during the raids on Medway, there's one thing called the Battle of Chatham, in which is a town in Medway. And this was a particular battle where the actual Dutch Marines won against the English. And it's one of the only few times in human history that the English have ever lost a battle to foreign invaders on their own soil. And although oddly enough they saw action against the English during the 3rd and 4th Anglo-Dutch War, by the 1700s they had allied, being a part of the Dutch-English force that captured Gibraltar in 1704, and they even allied again with the English to capture Algiers in 1816. And as for the Marine Corps, they were seen in at least 9 combat operations before the 1900s. Some of these were, as I mentioned before, but there was also the West Indies, Dogger Bank, Algiers, and many more. But now, let's fast forward to the Second World War, because the Dutch Mariners, as a matter of fact, they actually saw quite a lot of combat despite the fact that the Netherlands remained fairly neutral throughout the Second World War. And the reason the country pretty much declared itself neutral is because not only was it pretty much occupied by Germany, but they were also fairly neutral in World War I. But as for the Dutch Marine Corps, they in fact did see combat during the battle and bombing of Rotterdam. And you may have heard of the Dutch Marine Corps being also known as the Black Devils. Well, it was this particular battle where they got that name. because even with such few soldiers, although losing the battle due to a major bombing, they managed to fight off an effective German force, even holding and preventing the German paratroopers from entering the city. However, this all ended after the Germans bombed the city and overwhelmed it with a superior force. And the story is that the German officer or general that was in charge of the entire battle saw how few troops the Dutch had, and even though they lost the battle after putting up such a good fight, the German officer commanded his own troops to salute these individuals as they were one of the most severe and bravest forces that he had ever encountered. It should also be noted that because the Battle of Rotterdam was such a pinnacle moment for the Korps Mariners, it is every single year that the Marine Corps of the Netherlands celebrates its birthday at the East Square in Rotterdam to commemorate those who gave their lives for the independence of their country. And although the Netherlands became occupied by German forces during the Second World War, it was the United States that had helped them train more Marines for the Netherlands at 2 camps in North Carolina. Now, these particular forces saw combat in the Dutch West Indies against the Japanese, because although the Netherlands had surrendered to Germany after the Battle of Rotterdam, the royal family had moved to England, and in 1941 they declared war on Japan. But in today's world, the Korps Mariner, they have been in places like New Guinea during the 1960s, Cambodia in the 1990s, and of course, Aruzgan from 2006 to 2010. They've also been deployed in Afghanistan, Yugoslavia, and Kosovo, in which they are currently still there, as well as Iraq, the Congo, Liberia, Ethiopia, and a few others. So there's a little bit of history, but let's talk about some unique facts of the Marine Corps of the Netherlands, because they've also got some pretty cool things going for it as well. Now, first, one big question that jumps to my mind is that, can a woman join the Korps Mariners or the Marine Corps? Well, believe it or not, as of January 1st of 2017, they approved females to be part of this unit. And things have actually progressed even further since then, because as of February 5th, 2018, there is currently at least one woman that is in the training program to become a Dutch Marine. Now, when it comes to the Marine Corps, one question that I also wonder is, how is the structure of this unique group? Well, first of all the Marines fall under what is known as the Marine Training Command, which under that there is the Maritime Force Staff, and as well as the 32nd Raiding Squadron, which is based out of Aruba. But on the main forces of the main Maritime Force Staff, there is the 1st and 2nd Marine Combat Group, which they have raiding, reconnaissance, parachute, and combat specialist squadrons. Under that, there is also MARSOF, which actually we talked about this particular special forces group in our last video. Again, well, there it is right there. You guys can check it out at any time, or it's going to be at the end of the video or in the description box below. On top of that, there is also the Surface Air Training Group, which provide vessels and vehicles for the rest of the Corps, and there's also the Seaboard Support Group, which provides the maritime logistics for the Marine Corps. Now, all these soldiers have to finish what is called the Maritime Special Forces Operations Capable Program, which takes approximately about 1 year to do this whole program. And to dive even deeper, let's take a look at the equipment and their numbers. Currently, there is approximately 2,300 of these soldiers that are a part of the Navy of the Netherlands. Their main assault rifles are the German Heckler & Koch, as well as the USA SIG Saucer MCX, and more commonly, the Canadian C7. For the machine guns, they use the Belgium-made FN MAG, and for snipers, besides your 50 caliber USA M82A1, they also use Great Britain's Accuracy International Arctic Warfare. And to add a new addition to the Korps Mariner, they are also using new Black Hornet drones, which are tiny little drones that will be used for recon and surveillance. And it should also be noted that when it comes to this particular group, they actually have a really good relationship with Britain and the United States as well. As a matter of fact, their biggest bond of friendship, as they call it, is with the Royal Marines of the United Kingdom. As a matter of fact, even for the British, they call the Dutch Marines cloggies for, clogs, which come from the Netherlands, right? But for these two forces, it's quite often that you will see the Korps Mariner operating with the English in what is known as the British 3 Commando Brigade. So there you have it, guys. That is a look at the Netherlands Marine Corps. What did you guys think of this force? And would this be a group that you would join if you were part of their military? My name is Dave Wapple, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out and learning about this fantastic, brave, and amazing unit that's within the Netherlands military. Be sure to check out our other content, guys. Like I said, we got a lot of videos on the Netherlands. It's a great country. They got a great culture there and a great people. So you'll really want to check out some of the cool stuff that we've learned about and that we've taught to you guys. And on top of that, before you guys get out of here, be sure to check out our sponsor. That is the OneFootball, which is an amazing football app that is dedicated to providing the latest news, transfer statistics, and in-match updates from over 160 leagues around the world, and is offered in 16 languages to many different fans. The OneFootball app is the only soccer football app that you will need, because you get real-time updates during the games, and you can even read player profiles for each team. So be sure to click on the link down there in the description box below and follow their expert analysis on all the major soccer matches. But either way, this has been us looking at the Korps Mariners, or the Marine Corps of the Dutch Navy. And although the Netherlands chooses to be a very neutral country, it has learned that defense is just as important as its practices and attempts for peace. However, from its very beginning, the history of the Korps Mariner have seen it all. And no matter what happens, peace and security is as far as the world extends. So thanks for watching this video, guys. All right, so here's some videos on the Netherlands which you guys should check out. Be sure to subscribe and tune in every single day to some of our stuff, because we just love learning about different cultures and people from around the world. On top of that, guys, you guys have yourself a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.